Ladies and gentlemen, this is Million Opinions. I am Carlton D'Souza, and in today's episode, we have the team Tiki Taka Ultimate, who've been in the UAE for over a decade, and they are going to host Dubai Invite, which is going to happen in the month of April. So, I have the founding members. They are Fons, Yvette, and Josiah, and we're going to pick their brains. So, let's see how this goes. Now you've been an integral part of Tiki Taka Ultimate. So, what made you stick to this team?
10 years ago, a group of us, a group of friends, decided that we wanted to start an ultimate team, a new ultimate team here in the UAE. And you know what's great about starting something from scratch is that you get to dictate the kind of culture that you want to impose on it, or you want to shape the team. So it was a good start for us. There were a couple of us. Tiki Taka is basically derived from football, a football movement of precise passing, small passes, quick passes, pass and go. From what a small bunch we had back then, almost 10 years ago, it has grown eventually to a much bigger community. And it's been a home away from home for a lot of us. You know, in the UAE, we all work long hours, and maybe for some, the workplace would be very far from what it is, from your home. So the travel could be very long, and it's very easy, and it could be very tempting to have a sedentary lifestyle. So we wanted Tiki Taka to be that place where people can, come by, have a good sweat. We do train. We know it's not just for fun for us also. We train hard. It's a good sweat. And if you wanted to kind of have this 2 hours that you're not thinking about anything, you're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about your boss, we welcome you to be there and, grow something or learn something new. So that was the whole point of just starting something. So now we're a big group. We're traveling. We've went to a lot of competitions, and it's been great. It's been a great journey so far.
So when did you come to the UAE, Fons?
I first came 2013.
2013.
2013. About 12 years now.
And ever since then, you're one of the founding members of Tiki Taka Ultimate.
Yes, so we all used to play for other teams in the UAE. And then eventually we came together and say, hey, let's start something new.
Okay, and when you started that then, did you ever imagine that you'd grow to be this team right now?
Yes, of course. I mean, of course, we didn't think about this is going to be the number. But the point is to grow, of course. We didn't want to keep this. I mean, we've been very fortunate. We've been very privileged to have people who aside from me, I think aside from me, everybody else in the founding team were all experienced ultimate players. So I've only really played ultimate when I came to Dubai. That's 12 years from now, 12 years ago. So, but everybody else in the team were all experienced players. So anybody who came, whether they were new or they were players from the Philippines or from somewhere else who wanted to grow, they were more than willing to share their experiences and their knowledge. So, so for me, it's growing, and we love that it's still growing. People come and go, and it's okay, it's fine, but the team remains to grow, and that's what we were saying. We want sustainable growth. We want people to come so that eventually, if people go, because nobody's going to be here permanently in the UAE, so we want to keep Tiki Taka there. We want to keep the team alive. We want people to have a home where they can call. So if they want to play Frisbee, if they want to be, they want to continue training, Tiki Taka will still be here, regardless the founding members will be here or not. That's the point.
So these 10 years, what has it taught you to be a player and a team? So the lessons that you have learned from this.
Skills doesn't matter if you don't have the right attitude. You know, growth is never linear. So you cannot be, I'm good, I'm great, and I'll be forever great. It's not like that. For you to remain great, you have to work on it. So the team, you know, whether it is all great players, all experienced players, or it's a mix of experienced and beginners, it becomes great because of the collective effort that people put into it, the commitment that they give into the training. We try to make sure that people don't have, you know, their egos, because it kills that. You know, when there's no humility, when you think that you're above everyone else, it doesn't work. It will not work. Then then you think that you're better than your other teammates. Then there's no trust. The team, there's 7 on the line. In normal tournaments, there are 7 on the line. And then you have the people on the sidelines. All of us work together to score a point, whether you're inside or you're outside. So everybody has a part. As a team, I've learned that loyalty is a choice. Commitment is a choice. You come, you stay, you show up every day, every week, every year with the same standards, with the same culture. And that's what keeps the team. You know, people come and go, as I mentioned earlier, whether they have migrated to somewhere else, they've went back to the home country, or they moved to a different team. And that's okay, you know. It's okay to regroup. It's okay to start over again, to have a reset. It's okay to fail. But the more important thing is that we come back and remember why we all started it in the first place.
Josiah, can you tell us who is Josiah and your journey so far to where you are right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I grew up one of 7 kids in my family, kind of right in the middle there. So always kind of scrapping and just getting by. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. Originally from the U.S., so many different places, many different environments. I think that kind of instilled in me this mindset of exploring and seeing what is there rather than being fixed in one place. Finished my university years, had some opportunities during that time to study abroad and start to see the world and to see how the world is really interconnected. My background is business, and so I started to see through business how the world was interconnected and was just really intrigued by that. Once I got married in 2018, my wife and I were presented with an opportunity to explore career opportunities here in the UAE, and we were kind of like, we're young. We'd just been married about, at that point, 9 months, and said, let's give it a shot. So we came over here, not really sure what to expect, really only visiting here once, and we just loved it. We've now been here 6.5 years, and don't tell our families, but we don't really have plans of going back at this time. It's just been such a great home for us, I think, to establish our family and to continue to grow and learn as people, as we interact with people from all over the world. So I came over in working in business and operations management, navigated COVID here, which was crazy, and that really forced me to grow and stretch in different ways. I navigated from being more in business operations management, and now I'm working in higher education, having the opportunity to teach kids about business and bring in my experience from the U.S., from here, the industry, and making kind of the theories and the things you learn in the textbooks more practical. And so that's kind of brought me here, and it's just this constant pursuit, I think, of growing, learning, expanding, and then sharing that with others.
Yvette, tell us about your personal journey.
So I came to the UAE almost 14 years ago, and I was supposed to be coming here for like a health related career, but somehow things didn't work out, and I was able to work in a school for a few years, and then opportunity knocked, and I was able to work for Emirates, and I never looked back. So that's terrible. That's where I am at right now.
So, Fons, tell us about your journey. Who is Fons, and how did she end up in UAE doing what you do?
I was born and raised in the Philippines. I started after university. I worked in the call center, the BPO industry. Then I was also playing football then. And then
When
I
you say football, American football?
soccer football.
Oh, lovely.
So after that, I started being part of management. So I was looking after a few different football clubs, and then the opportunity was open for me to come to the UAE. From football, I came and became a hotelier. It was a very big shift. And then I eventually ended up in human resources. So I've been in human resources for almost 12 years now. Now I'm part of a management team of a couple of hotels here in the UAE. So it's been fun. On the side, we started Ultimate, Tiki Taka Ultimate. So, yeah.
So you said you were into sports, football predominantly. And then when did you shift to Ultimate Frisbee?
So I couldn't really find a lot of female football teams here in the UAE when I arrived, and also all of my housemates played Ultimate Frisbee. So I didn't know much here in the UAE. I didn't know a lot of people. So every time they went on training, they would invite me, and eventually it's an easy sport. It doesn't take much. The mechanics are the same as football. So it was quite easy of a transition for me. And yeah, I just fell in love with it.
It is not very physical. When I say physical, there's no body contact in Ultimate Frisbee, no? As compared?
There is, of course. But the whole point is to try to go away from the physical contact. It's one of the non-contact sports. We don't have referees. In the much bigger competitions, there are observers. They give their opinions about fouls and calls. But for us, when we normally play, we self-referee. So we if there is a foul, if there is a contact, we discuss about it, and then we agree to disagree, or we agree to agree.
So, Josiah, how long have you been playing Ultimate Frisbee?
Really, since I came here is when I first really started playing. Back in the U.S., I played a lot of American football. That was kind of my sport. Still love it if I get the chance to play, but there weren't quite the same opportunities here. And I got connected by a friend to like a Frisbee pickup. And I said, sure, let's give it a try. I remember going to that first practice, and everyone's like, oh, what team do you play for? Where did you play? And I realized it was much bigger than just kind of this, pick up, have fun, that it was more organized. There were teams, there were tournaments, there were practices. And so I very quickly just kind of got in that scene. So I've been playing pretty much since I came about 6 years now. Got in with my first tournament 6 years ago, almost exactly, and I've just loved it since. And it's been a really fun opportunity, but also challenging. I mean, you're working full time, so it's kind of a side thing that's going on. But it's been a really fun outlet to meet people, to stay active, and to continue playing sports, which I just really love.
Yvette?
More than 15 years, if I must say, but structured and strategic Ultimate, probably like more than 5 years only,
So this team is a self-funded team. Mm-hmm. How do you manage being self-funded for over a decade right now? That's pretty impressive.
To be honest, it has not been easy because Ultimate Frisbee is sort of an expensive sport in a way that in order to be able to compete at high level Ultimate, you need to be able to participate at international tournaments. And international tournaments means you need to travel, and travel equates to cost. That being said, we manage our expenses by prioritizing the essentials. That is mainly airfare and accommodation. And planning in advance is key as well. We try and budget really carefully, and we consistently look for the most cost-effective options. We also rely on a strong support network of teammates, families, and friends who who share the costs whenever possible. And over the years, we've been very grateful for the support of our sponsors who have helped reduce travel expenses.
So your biggest financial challenges without sponsorships would be?
Is the cost of participation itself. As I mentioned, being able to compete at high level ultimate, you need to travel. And travel requires significant investment in, let's say, airfare, accommodation, visas, tournament fees. All of these expenses can easily add up, especially when you're a team that is fully self-funded. Another challenge is long-term sustainability. Without sponsorships, we constantly have to balance our competitive goals versus our own personal financial limits, which can ultimately affect the number of tournaments that we can participate in a given period, or let's say in a given year. It also places added pressure on the players like us because we constantly need to manage our expenses while still committing to time and energy for training. Lastly, without sponsorships or external support, our opportunities to actually participate in international tournaments become very limited. That means we must be very resourceful, we must budget more carefully, and we must rely on shared contributions or teammates in order for us to be competitive and continue to grow.
So you are open to sponsorships, and how are you finding sponsorships for the team when there's lack of awareness about ultimate frisbee as a sport?
Yeah, to be honest, it's been challenging. We are always open for sponsorships. We wanted to actually partner with various entities and various government or various companies who actually share the same values with us and who is willing or who see the potential of ultimate frisbee in the region. So we're constantly reaching that out. We try and raise awareness in various ways. We organize events and tournaments in as much as we can, and we invite various communities. We also use, in as much as we can, our social media to share and update highlights, stories, and engage the wider audience and reach to both the local and regional communities. So in that aspect, that's how far as much as we have gone for promoting the sport.
So now we're going to talk about international representation. So I'm going to pose this question to Josiah. So have you represented UAE in Ultimate Frisbee, or has the team Tiki Taka Ultimate represented UAE in this?
Certainly, I think being a team from the UAE, anytime that we're competing in tournaments, we have that flag on our team logo in these tournaments. So we're known as a team coming from the United Arab Emirates. We've had many opportunities, thankfully, to play in Europe across the MENA region, and it's just really neat to kind of be there. Most of the time, one of the only, if not the only team, especially in the European setting, from the Middle East to be there among all these European countries, American, and then even from East Asia as well, coming in to be there and show that even in the Middle East that we're competitive. We belong there. We have a place there in that field.
Well, I know for a fact that Tiki Taka Ultimate is one of the strongest teams in the UAE. But how do the other teams, the international teams, perceive us?
Yeah, from a competition level, I think they're very, I like to say surprised a bit. I think we like that vibe that we kind of come out and people don't really expect us to, okay, coming from the Middle East, they think we just play on sand and in the desert, now we're coming on the field. And one of our kind of go-to things when we would start a game is we try to hit them in the mouth right away, right? So we have a play and we just hit them hard, and usually that wakes them up a bit. And they're always incredibly intense. And I think that's one of the things after the games when we're talking with the teams, we're getting, they're sharing their thoughts and their feedback. They're always saying, wow, it's really great to see such high level play and competition being able to come from a region that you just don't typically think of when thinking about Ultimate Frisbee.
So have you been playing international tournaments since your induction in Tiki Taka Ultimate?
Fairly soon after. So COVID, there was not a lot going on, but once COVID, post-COVID in kind of 2021, our Tiki Taka won the MENA Club Championship and then got a bid to play in the European tournament Windmill in the Netherlands, Amsterdam. So that was a really big opportunity for us to kind of go on that international scale. And so roughly since then, we've about every year had an international tournament that we've been able to go play in. So I guess post-COVID, once things really were ramping up, we've consistently been able to represent Tiki Taka, the UAE, and the region.
So how would you say the evolution of the team has been so far?
Yeah, so our performance, I think we've been able to maintain a very steady, I think, stance and growing incrementally. So I think the first tournament we went to, we were kind of right in the middle of the pack, and in subsequent years we were able to see ourselves grow a little bit. And I think it's a real testament to the team, to the development, because there are many unique challenges here to having a team. It's a very transient place, and so people are coming and going, and you're constantly developing new players, and your skilled players are then going off and growing. So I think being able to maintain that level of competitiveness at an international level is really kind of like a badge of honor for us.
And the biggest shift that you have seen when it comes to players' growth, talent, awareness, and community?
I'd probably lean more like on the players and the talent. What's been really neat is initially as Frisbee, not just here in the UAE, but in the region, it typically stemmed from players who played in their home country. They came in, and then you had these players who were already skilled kind of forming these teams. But what you've really seen, I would say especially the past 5 years, but definitely over the past decade, is players who are being introduced to the sport here for the first time, growing, developing, and then being major contributors to their team. And so I think that's one of the big shifts that I've seen is now we're getting players who didn't play Frisbee before they came to Dubai, now starting to play Frisbee, learning the game, and in a couple of years now being key players on their team, or seeing that grow into new teams being formed, rather than just kind of exporting the players from other countries coming here, seeing more of it being grown, homegrown, so to speak.
Well, you've done a fantastic job. It's over a decade of Tiki Taka Ultimate in the UAE. You've been doing local tournaments, international tournaments, and you've been also part of the Dubai Invite. So can you please let us know, what is the Dubai Invite? You said it's the largest tournament in the region?
Yes, we are very proud. So we've started this year. That was our first run. That was the first edition for Dubai Invite. The idea started with actually a very simple goal, which is to create a competitive tournament within the region. We wanted to invite both local and regional teams and provide a platform generally for players of all levels to be able to challenge themselves and to grow and to experience the sport at a higher standard. So this coming 2026 April 4 to 5 will be the second edition of the Dubai Invite. During the first edition, we also invited top players from Europe to participate and play with Tiki Taka. They did not only showcase their talents on the field, but which actually raised the overall level of play for Ultimate in the region, but they also conducted clinics for players who were keen to actually improve their skills and understanding of the game. So in the second season, this coming April 2026, we are actually very excited to welcome both new and returning teams. Our goal for the second edition is to grow the tournament or to grow it to 20 teams. And we hope to continue building Dubai Invite as into the flagship tournament of the, flagship tournament, ultimate event for the region. In terms of awareness, we are also very proud to be the very first tournament in the region to be covered by Ulti TV, which is a social platform for covering ultimate events around the world. And showcasing the sport online for free is actually is a great way to help grow the sport, at the same time connect with the wider ultimate community. So that's about Dubai Invite.
So can you tell us about last year's Dubai Invite? How many teams have participated?
Last year's Dubai Invite, if I remember it correctly, we had 14 teams, and we are hoping to grow it to 16 to 20 teams for the next edition.
Okay. What's the numbers that we're looking for? Number of people. So you're saying 14. So let's keep it 16 teams. So 16 teams would consist of how many numbers? Per team. In a team, how many members?
Per team, ideally, you have to be around 16 to 20, optimally, to be able to compete, in a level that is in such a way that everybody has fair share of playing time and able to contribute to the best of their, their strengths and their abilities. Anything below 15, I think, would be challenging, because in a team you have varying strengths of athleticism, so it depends. But every team ideally has like 16 to 20.
And the spectators, what would be the number of spectators that would come and see these events other than the teams?
So we are expecting, let's say, 200 spectators, including the friends and families of the participants for Dubai Invite.
Lovely. So all in all, you're expecting 500 people?
More or less, yes.
So you did mention, Josiah, that you train or teach children in a school or a college setting for business?
Yeah, so in higher education, college.
Higher education. Okay, so how do you then, or do you have any plans of starting something when it comes to Frisbee as Tiki Taka Ultimate and trickle it down to the school levels and teach the children over here? Since you said homegrown, why not start them young?
Absolutely. I think plans-wise, we're always talking about things we can do, trying to think creatively. And what we kind of the approach we have to take here, because we're all working. I mean, people come to the UAE, they come to Dubai, they're working, and you're here to work, your visa is to work. And so all of this is being done after hours or in the excess. And it takes a lot of time. But what's been neat is kind of seeing the organic growth from each person in the space that they are. So you mentioned, yes, I'm in higher education. So in that space, I have a unique opportunity because that's where I am. And I can start to spread that. It started by spreading awareness with my students, right? We had a tournament and I had them kind of tracking and following the tournament, showing them the highlights, talking with them about it, nothing to do with the subject, but they enjoyed that. And then now they've got an awareness of the game. So now this is a whole class that doesn't know about it. And then slowly trying to expand that and see what opportunities there are at my institution, specifically working with like our wellness center and saying, our recreation center, and saying, hey, is this something that we could start doing for the students there? Could we have kind of a university-based team? And then for other players on the team, it's the spaces they are in. Some of them work at schools, have opportunities in schools, have children in schools, and then using that influence they have to start bringing it in. So it's kind of a multifaceted approach and focus on wherever we are and whatever space we're in, how can we see it growing? And rather than us being able to just kind of be a giant organization or group that can just go in and say, hey, look, we've already got this established thing. It's organically trying to grow from the places where people are. But to the plans, we would love to see that. And we're always trying to encourage teammates and think, again, creatively for the spaces we are, what opportunities could be there.
We did speak earlier with Yvette about self-sustenance. So how exactly can we make Ultimate Frisbee mainstream? Your thoughts?
That's a good question. And, there are many challenges that come with that. As a business guy, kind of with that background, I'm always thinking about it from that standpoint. What would the structure look like? How could we get that established? Taking in all the different variables and influences here in the context we're in, how could we kind of bring that in and establish it? I think we're doing a lot of the right things. And sometimes it can feel discouraged in the day-to-day of like, oh man, we're trying to find a field that we can play on and there's just nothing available, or we're trying to host a tournament and we're running into roadblocks. And that can be challenging, but we have to pause and I think reflect over everything that's taken place. Where were we 10 years ago, right? We're nowhere near where we were today. And I think if we look 10 years ago and we said, hey, this is where you're going to be in 10 years, and this is where Ultimate Frisbee in the country and in the region is going to be in 10 years, I think we all would be very proud of that. And so I think sometimes we just need to pause and reflect and be grateful for, hey, yeah, this has been a great journey, and help that, or allow that to kind of build the resilience to keep pressing on into it. Because to get it mainstream, as you said, there's just many hurdles, many barriers to it. One of the biggest challenges is the fact that your spokesmen, so to speak, your prominent players, they move on, right? At some point, the reality is all three of us are probably going to leave Dubai. And so we're trying to just build up that next group, that next generation, influence in the space as we are, so that when we leave, there are those who can carry it forward from that. Pressing into things with government authorities, sports councils, and things like that, trying to get the awareness with them to see the sport. Things like hosting the Dubai Invite, kind of starting that and trying to do that continually, just help bring that awareness and help people know about it. Helps legitimize the sport here a bit. And, those are all that and probably many different things I could add as well that contribute to kind of how we build it mainstream. It's not going to be a one thing that gets done. It's going to be multiple efforts by multiple people, the small things, day in, day out, consistency to just kind of build the sport.
So can you tell me, other than the Dubai Invite, what are the different types of levels that you'd want to see of awareness that you're going to spread across the region, so that maybe the third edition of Dubai Invite would have 1,000 plus and it would be a fully sponsored event?
Tiki Taka has also members who actually support the grassroots development of local Ultimate Frisbee, by partnering with a local sports provider for children in promoting the sport. So that also helps in some way. And as I mentioned earlier, social media and participating and hosting events like Dubai Invite helps grow the sport and showcase it to the wider community. So all of these efforts and awareness, they sort of help build visibility and increase participation and help, support long-term growth for Ultimate Frisbee generally.
Tell me one memory that stayed with you while playing a match, let it be local or international.
We went to Azerbaijan in November. In one of the matches where we were down. And again, what made it really special, what made that tournament special is that we just came from a regroup. And there was a lot of doubt going into that tournament. But what I was really grateful of, and what really struck me is that, and I will never forget, is that people still chose to believe. And people chose to train, and people chose to show up. So that memory will always be with me. And when we had a teammate, so again, when I say that in a point or in a match, there's 7 on the line and the people on the sideline. The people on the sideline is as important as the people inside the field, because the people on the sideline, they're your additional eyes. they're the ones cheering you on. So there was one point that we were kind of down because when we were trailing behind, and then it was late in the afternoon. We were tired. Most of the players were already tired. But then the sideline kept on going, cheering on, and it was this particular tournament wherein we added more cheers to the list of cheers that we have. And people, you can hear when people don't have voices and they're still cheering you on. And that was just, it was lovely to hear. And it was, people who were actually tired, they really said, I know we were really tired, but just hearing you people cheer us on, that just kept us going on and on and on until we finished the match. I don't remember if we won that match or not, but it was the feeling that everybody was engaged, everybody wanted to help out each other, and that's what the team is.
And you remember the important thing: the team stood for each other.
Exactly.
So, what next for Tiki Taka Ultimate?
We want to tap into the grassroots. We want to have this sustainable growth. We want to continue playing, training, and competing internationally and locally, and hopefully all things will help each other. Yeah.
Fons, I want to ask you: is Ultimate Frisbee only for youngsters? Are we only targeting grassroots level for sustainable growth, or are we also taking in adults?
Everyone. I mean, we're very happy to host or to help out anybody who would like to learn and play the sport. There's no discrimination in this sport. Again, this is the whole and fun part of this sport, is that anybody could play it. It could be just a fun pickup or at a competitive level.
So how could one join, volunteer, or even get involved in the sport?
Okay, so we have our social media accounts. We have our Facebook and Instagram, Tiki Taka Ultimate Dubai. So anybody who would like to join, whether you're a beginner, totally zero knowledge about Ultimate, or you're somebody who knows how to play Frisbee, but you don't know, you don't have a team here in the UAE. We keep updates and training schedules on our social media accounts. But we are in Zabil Park by Gate 2 every Mondays and Thursdays from 7:30 to 9:30.
So I've heard a lot of challenges that you have in order to do the sport and also make it mainstream. So what inspires you to still come to the field and play regularly for all these years?
Yeah, I think a kind of a personal motto, so you could speak, is we're going to be better today than we were yesterday, and we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today. I think that applies across all areas of my life. If that's at work, I want to be better at work today than I was yesterday, and I want to be better tomorrow. Definitely on the field, right? I'm coming to each practice with a mindset that says, okay, I want to get better. Whether that's a small way, a small step, get better each and every day. And I think again that influences the way you live life, the way you view life, the way you view challenges, hurdles, discouragement, right? We're fighting to get better. And so I think that's something that definitely has kept me going. And I think it's a great mindset to have as we're trying to press through these barriers and different challenges.
My motto and my guiding mantra has always been gratefulness, and to do better and to ultimately live better each day. Ultimate Frisbee is something that is like a silver lining for me, for us. In a world where negativity can easily take root, it is important to actually believe that we can offer something genuinely positive. And Ultimate Frisbee is that silver lining. It represents positivity, connection and a true sense of belongingness. So even in that small way, if we are able to create smiles and share happiness and remind people that community, respect, and joy still matter, so that's what we want to bring out to the community.
Honestly, I just want to be there for the team. One, it keeps me moving again. In my line of work, I sit or I work very long hours. So and this is a demanding job. So to keep myself healthy, to keep myself a little bit active, Frisbee has been my go-to for the last 12 years. What inspires me to keep on going is that people depend on me. As part of the management for Tiki Taka, it's not every day a good day. So, you need to be there. You have to show up. And that's something that I've promised that I will do until I'm able to do so.
And your message to everyone who's listening out there?
Be kind to everyone. It's very easy to be judgmental, to be harsh. But be kind. You don't know what the other person is going through. And if you could be the bigger person, be that bigger person. Just be kind. Show us, give a smile,
If you are interested to actually learn more about Ultimate Frisbee and learn more about our club and our passion and our endeavor, you are actually all welcome to join us in Zabil every Mondays and Thursdays in the evening from 7:30. So we are a very inclusive community, and we wanna, share our passion with everybody in our own small way.
I would say it's very similar, right? To continue to look at how can you get better? How can you improve? What does that mean in your context, right? How can you grow? How can you learn? How can you say, hey, we're on this journey to grow, to get better in whatever sphere we're in, whatever industry we're in. So what does that look like for you each and every day to kind of wake up with that mindset that says, I want to be better today. I want to do something, and I want to pursue things that help me be better today and tomorrow and the day after.